I worked night audit at the semi-swanky hotel next to the airport. One night, I get a call from a lady in 204. She says there was arguing, loud banging, and crying coming out of 206. Check the computer. No one has checked into that room due to maintenance issues. What? I called my supervisor to see what to do. She tells me to call the site security and follow up with a key. But I decide to be the bigger man and go up anyways. As we get off the elevator, we can hear the crying. It's loud. My heart starts racing as we near the door, so I hand the key to the security guard. The next 5 minutes seems to happen in slow motion. He opens the door and immediately flicks on the light. Keep in mind, 206, we're on the second floor, only door in was by me, and this is at like 3 a.m. and there was no one around. As we enter the room, the shower is on. Steam is coming from under the door, and there is only one lamp on in the room. It's super cold, and there is a lady in a red lacy bra and black panties with super red curled hair crying in the bed. She was facing away from us. As the security guard approached her, he had asked if everything was okay. She sort of stopped crying and rolled over. When she did, a wave of horror came over me. She was super pale, covered in blood, and she was just staring behind us. That's when we realized the shower had stopped and the door was open. There was a man about 6 foot 5 inches standing in the doorway. As we turned around, cops tased him and arrested him. Turns out he was a rapist who hides in hotel rooms, kidnaps women who stay there, and he cuts them open. To this day, I will never go to a hotel again. I used to work for a relatively small security company. It was privately owned, had about 30 employees altogether. They'd get a contract with a factory, and then basically your job was to sit in that factory for 8 to 12 hours when no one was working in it. So I'd be working by myself, alone, overnight, and in a completely empty factory. In my 2 years of doing that job, I never one time saw a single thing that I would call supernatural. However, I did see Dennis. One night my captain calls me on the phone, tells me a new trainee will be coming in at about 5 a.m., and to show him the ropes, teach him how to make rounds, walk around the building. That's basically what making a round is, etc., etc. So it's about 4:45 a.m. and I step outside to the parking lot to have a smoke and wait on the new guy. After about 10 minutes, a car pulls up, stops, backs up, and drives away. I was clearly visible, so I have no idea why he left, but the car passed by about 3 or 4 more times before finally pulling in and shutting off the engine. I can see him in the car, and he's just sitting in the driver's seat staring at me. In the back seat are 2 kids, probably around 6 or 8 years old. After about 3 minutes of me wondering what the hell is going on, he gets out of the car. Dennis is weird looking. He's about 4 feet 10 inches and fatter than damn near anyone I have ever seen. He has a huge rash covering about 70% of his body, with a white crust outlining most of it. Then he speaks. Had a little trouble finding the place. His voice is high-pitched. I mean really high-pitched. I'm talking Judge Doom in the final scene of Who Framed Roger Rabbit high-pitched. Then he extends his hand to shake mine. Without thinking much, I shake it. There's 1 finger on it. 1 finger. And the rest of his hand looks like some kind of stumpy flesh mitten. One of the kids gets out of the car and has the same rash and is also very fat, and is also missing a couple of fingers. He says, "Daddy, can I get a drink?" Dennis then turns around and screams in that high-pitched, annoying voice of his, "Get back in the damn car, and don't you get out again." I am in shock. So I take the guy around the factory and show him the perimeter. I tell him where emergency stuff is. After about a minute into our walk, I notice the guy smells like hell. I mean, he literally reeks of ball sweat and fresh diarrhea. Pardon my language. The whole time, he's asking me strange questions like, "Do you have a crush on anyone that works here? Or can I hunt on this property?" He finally leaves after standing in the office trying to make small talk with me for a good 15 minutes after the tour. On his way out, he said, "We're gonna be good friends, even if you don't think so now." I went home about 2 hours later and stood in the shower for a good solid hour washing myself, trying to get the image of that guy out of my head. Called my captain and asked him to reassign me to someplace else. Never had to see him again. It's been more than 10 years, and that still bothers me. Working night shift at a care home. Only 2 people work at night. We get everyone to bed and tidy up, then sit down to watch TV and answer if any of the residents ring the bell. About 2 in the morning, the doorbell rings. This is weird as the home is in the countryside, about 10 miles from the nearest village. We go to investigate and find a man at the front door. He asks if we can use the phone as his car is broken down. He isn't allowed in, but we offer to phone a tow truck for him. He agrees. We go get to the phone, and when we come back to the door, he's gone. Weird, but we think maybe he's just gone back to his car or something. We go back to sit down, but we can see down the corridor that the man is now inside, standing in the TV room. He doesn't see us, so we run and hide. We still have a phone, so we call the cops, but they take a while to get to us. About 15 minutes later, the cops show up. We let them in and they search the place and calm us down. The man isn't found anywhere, and we call management to send some more staff out to stay with us during the night. The manager arrives, police leave. We're back watching TV, chatting, a bit calmer now when we hear the front door open and then close. We go to investigate, start calling the cops again. We look out the window to see the man running away down the driveway. He'd been in the home the entire time the cops were there. No idea what he wanted, but I'm very glad I don't work there anymore. Night shifts are creepy enough in a care home, even without intruders. Hey, what is up you guys? Thank you so much for watching this video. This is my first attempt at this sort of thing, so if you want to see more, please subscribe, share, and like. Thank you for watching.